What is going on, Avengers? With Hawkeye's deep dive just 11 days away, we are getting some activity on the home front. Today on February 5th was a dev stream, so in this video we are going to go down the list of what I thought was interesting, and with that being said, let's go. Okay, so the Hawkeye deep dive will be a direct video upload. Next week, they will give us the exact time when that will drop. Also next week, there will be a developer blog about the new biome, the Wasteland. This is coming with Hawkeye's DLC. You kind of see it in that trailer of him walking out as Old Man Hawkeye. In this dev blog, we're going to see the inspirations behind it, some screenshots behind it, what inspired them to make certain places and parts of this area. So expect that next week. A new biome, like I just said, is the Wasteland that's coming with Maestro Hulk and future Imperfect expansion. They were also talking about some type of upcoming patch. They seem very confident. Andy mentioned that the work week was quite busy, so it does seem like they're prepping hard for Hawkeye. And speaking of Hawkeye, they revealed a new arrow, the boomerang arrow. Andy was saying that it might not work exactly how we think. Also, there's different variations of the pulsar arrow and the tripwire arrow. These arrows interest me. I kind of go in my head on what they will do or how you can implement them on the battlefield. I think that'll be a good time. They are doing heavy work on a roadmap right now. That is one of their high priorities. They want to get a roadmap together. They were saying that it's a lot of stuff to organize and put together. They want to do it when they're ready and when they're confident all this information can be released. They said that there was a lot of, like I said before, organization going into this. So it seems like they don't want to take the route where they're just giving us ballpark dates, and they're looking for a more refined roadmap. So that seems quite interesting. They're kind of going all out on that. There's some talk about improving photo mode. I would personally like if you could take status effects off, or if they could get rid of that weird vibration on the outlines of the characters sometimes. Phil and Andy also talked about a new Iron Man outfit coming out as early as next week, with Iron Man having a cape. A lot of fans were mentioning the infamous Iron Man runs, which is like a Doctor Doom becomes Iron Man, or takes the mantle of Iron Man. Right now, it seems like they're working on a lot of network issues with cloning labs and Omega level threats like the Adaptoid. They were saying that the network issues, obviously we even have them in the game right now. So I do think that they need to work on that, and they need to get that unlocked before they start releasing any of this new content. It's tough to play a multiplayer based content whenever you can't really matchmake with your friends or matchmake with randoms. So it looks like they're really trying to get that on lockdown just so that we can enjoy the long level that is the cloning labs. They're considering some type of rejoin system. So if you get kicked or if you leave a match, you can rejoin. I think that's great. If you could jump in mid-match with players, and each character has their own little attack ability that when they drop out of the Quinjet, you know, Captain America throws his shield down, Hulk my elbow drop, something along those lines. Fans were talking about more duo takedowns. Phil said it was expensive to do, but would be cool. I think that would be cool. That's one of the things I would love to see, duo takedowns on Exos. New Warzone missions are on their way. I can only assume that those are coming with Hawkeye. They were also talking about villain sectors with current bosses like MODOK, Monica, or Scientist Supreme Lyle Getz. They were talking about doing an economy overhaul, maybe with the materials and the units. I'm not exactly sure how they're doing that or what the details are on that. Multiplayer content with Hawkeye will be coming. They were speaking about login rewards. It has been discussed. King Hulk's hair fix will be up and coming in this patch. I don't know. It kind of seemed like this patch was going to be coming soon, but I'm not sure. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but it just seemed like they were trying to hold back a lot when in regards to certain improvements. They discussed about next gen and the loading times, because the loading times are going to be so quick. Will the conversations in the elevator still exist? That is a yes. It will just be you get in the elevator, you have the conversation, the elevator opens, and you proceed on. They talked about improvements to inventory, and there wasn't a whole lot of details on that, but they said soon to come on that. They also mentioned new interiors for bases, so maybe give us something a little fresh to look at here in the upcoming updates or patches. Potential new status effect. Haptic feedback will be on each character on the PlayStation 5. Right now, they are not focusing on PvP. They are trying to improve on mission structure and difficulty. Clint was mentioned to have new exotics. They're looking to implement more clarity on drops in the future patch. And they were also asked about 6-player missions, and they responded that that was something they were looking into. But right now, because they have already reached the cap on what they can run in the game, 6 players is a little much, so they would have to figure out what they can take away to add those additional 2. And also, last and not least, there may not be a stream next week due to the fact that next weekend is a 3-day weekend for Crystal Dynamics. Okay guys, that's going to be it for the dev stream recap. Let's move on to some personal thoughts. So, it really seems like there is some motion in the ocean internally and externally about the game. It seems to be some improvements. Andy also mentioned that they wanted to spice up the weekly war table on Thursdays, which I think is a great idea. Just the way they were talking today, the whole vibe, it just, they seemed like they were really getting down and fixing problems that fans had issues with. I think one of their biggest problems right now is network issues and getting everything together for cloning labs and Omega level threats, and of course the Hawkeye DLC. It just seems they're working really hard to refine their foundation. I think clarity and transparency between the devs is another thing that the fans want. I think that's why they kind of went back to the drawing board to get that roadmap out whenever they are confident, and that'll kind of set in stone for the fans on what to expect. And even though we haven't seen a bunch of these implementations, it's really hard for me to not feel like I'm going to get my socks blown off with this next update and Clint's future imperfect operation. I feel like after Clint, this game will have a little bit more meat on its bones for people to take a bite out of, and from what I got from the dev stream today, it really seems like they are working on this game all the way, and we will have future content to look forward to. And to close this video off, I just want to pass on some word that I got from a very experienced gamer, is that if you want a game or a company to succeed, then support it. So that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next one. I'm Machine Gun Mike, out.